Welcome back to another Tuesday Talk. We are in our series, It's Personal. And I'm excited to jump into this topic this evening, this afternoon, just depending on whenever you're watching. Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right into it. And so, have you ever felt kind of like no one really knows a certain part of your life? And this isn't necessarily meant to pry at the deepest, darkest places of your heart. I'm going to tell you a quick story about something like this in my life. When I was in high school, I decided to play sports. And I went to a small enough school that I could play multiple sports. Trust me, I wasn't that amazing of an athlete. I played 3 sports, but I also went to a small school and they needed people to play sports. So just to preface, I'm not trying to boast here. So I played football in the fall, I played basketball in the winter, and then I actually played golf in the spring. And all that to be said, my best friends came really from playing these sports. Like, we did everything together, but the sport that no one really but me played was golf. And most of all those friends did track. It was a co-ed sport. They liked to be more physical and run and do all that great stuff, whereas I was like, golf seems sweet. I'm gonna do that because I love the idea of that. And so I played golf all 4 years. All that being said, there were so many times I felt like I was pretty decent at golf, but I felt like no one knew that I even had this life or this passion for the game, which sounds silly because people knew I played. But it wasn't until about a handful of years actually after high school that a few of my friends who I'd played basketball and football with jumped into and got really excited about playing the game of golf. And it was like this weird realization of like, I started to talk to them about golf and they like would look at me like, I didn't know you knew that or you were that passionate or this. Like, it's like they didn't even know me. And I felt more known by some of my friends because we now play golf together. And so all that being said, is there parts of your life that not everyone knows about? There are parts of your life that you maybe don't have the same interests or activities with certain friends, and so they don't know the full you. And what I want to remind you today is that Jesus knows the entirety of who you are. And there's this saying, kind of, friends come and go, but family lasts forever. Or, people kind of come in and out of your life for seasons. Jesus never, ever does that. He's always there with you. He's always by your side. Whether you choose to follow him or not, he is there, available, and ready. And what I want to get at here is that having a relationship with Jesus is personal, and hopefully gets more and more personal as you walk with him. And what I want to remind you is that it's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. And something as silly as the game of golf and my passion and love for that game, so many of my friends and even some of my family knew I played, but they didn't quite know the passion or the fact that it really was a part of who I was. The fact that I loved this game and the reasons why I loved the game. And so Jesus knew that those things mattered to me, but a lot of people around me didn't know that those mattered to me. And so I wanted to give us, just to kind of make this talk nice and short and to give us practical tips as we walk and follow Jesus, or we're getting to know him more, or just questioning this whole thing in general. I wanted to give us a tip on how to best begin to grow in our relationship with Jesus, as well as grow in our relationship with others. Because I think they're kind of hand in hand. I think Jesus, you don't have to be an extrovert to like people. You don't have to be this, and that. Ultimately, what Jesus is wanting is for us to get to know him better. And there's a lot of times that the people around you display and mirror Jesus because we're all created in his image. And you might get to know Jesus better by having great friends in your life as well. And the tip that I want to get to is found in Philippians 2, verses 3 and 4. And what I'm going to get at, I'm just going to read it and then we're going to jump into, I really think, a tip to not only know other people, but to be more known by people. And that is, rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you looking to the interests of others. And what's so fascinating about following Jesus, and kind of what's similar in the game of golf, if you know the game of golf, is when you're hitting the ball right, you would think you'd have to do certain things. You kind of always do the opposite of what you think you should do, and that's really what gets you to hit the ball straighter. And that may sound weird, but what's interesting about following Jesus is oftentimes when you think you need to get to know yourself better, instead of just looking at yourself and staring at yourself and trying to figure it out, oftentimes to get to know yourself better, you serve other people, which seems counterintuitive, but Jesus is in the business of flipping culture, flipping what you think's the right idea on its head because he has the right idea the best way. And so what I'm seeing here, and what I would argue is, to get to know yourself and to feel like you're loved and mattered, start asking and learning about other people and putting what they like above your own needs, or care about them more maybe than you care about yourself. And you'll find that in doing that, you find yourself, you find your purpose, you find your joy, you find the things that you're looking for. And maybe right now you just don't know how to make the first step to find those things. Well, maybe this is a nudge to start asking your friends questions about what matters to them, what they're all about. Do a little bit more listening than talking. And you might find that in doing that, looking to the interests of others above even your own interests at times, you might find out who you are and whose you are in Christ. And I don't know about you, but knowing who I am in Christ is one of the most freeing, liberating, beautiful gifts that I can have, and as well hopefully give to you. Because ultimately what it does is it aligns your purpose, it aligns your values, it aligns the fact of why you're here on this earth. And so, the quick tip is found in Philippians, and that is to look at other people's interests above your own. Start putting other people as more important than maybe they are right now. And you might just, in the process of serving and loving selflessly, you might in that process find out exactly why you're here and exactly at a deeper core whose you are, and that you are loved by Jesus Christ, and that he has mighty, mighty plans for you. So, with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. We can't wait to see you in the next talk. Bye, everybody.